So imagine holding a really heavy, textured, fragrant orange right in the palm of your hand.
Okay, I can picture that.
Right, so your fingers can feel the porous skin, you can smell the citrus oil, and you know exactly how much it weighs. But now imagine someone hands you a flat, dry piece of stone and just tells you to put that orange inside the stone.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's impossible.
Exactly. And to a 5-year-old child, that isn't some metaphor, you know? It's a completely baffling, physically impossible demand.
Yeah, it's totally literal for them.
Right. And today's deep dive is actually about that exact moment. The moment a young boy realized he could not put the fruit into the stone and, well, how his failure reveals the hidden architecture of human communication. Welcome to the deep dive, by the way.
Glad to be here. And we're dissecting a really short but highly evocative YouTube video transcript today.
Yeah, from the channel The Magic Boy.
That's right. It's titled First Day of School, January 1969. And, you know, on the surface, it just reads like a standard kind of nostalgic memory of a kid starting his education.
Yeah. Which is charming on its own, but...
Right, but if you look closer at the actual mechanics of what the narrator is describing, it is actually a real-time recording of a massive cognitive leap.
Yeah.
It captures this incredibly confusing, painful transition from experiencing a full three-dimensional sensory reality to suddenly navigating a two-dimensional world of artificial symbols.
And the narrator actually looks back at this specific morning and famously concludes that he simply, and this is a quote, didn't know the ways of the world.
That phrase is so crucial.
It really is. But to understand why that cognitive leap was just so difficult for him, we really have to look at the immense physical reality this kid was anchored in that morning.
Oh, absolutely. The sensory input is in context here.
Right, because the text places us in January 1969. The boy is just walking to school with his father, and they're traveling along a stream that flows right by the edge of a paddy field.
So he's completely embedded in nature.
Yeah, this isn't some sterile modern classroom environment. He's experiencing the world in absolute high definition.
The mud, the sound of the water, the physical exertion of the walk itself.
Exactly.
And developmentally, you have to remember, a child of that age is basically a hyper-empiricist.
Meaning they just trust their senses completely.
Yes, they believe in what they can touch, taste, and physically move through. Their brain is optimized to map physical space and identify physical objects.
Right, they haven't been trained to, ignore their senses yet.
Exactly.
But on top of that intense physical grounding, there's also this overwhelming layer of fear and cultural gravity that morning.
Oh, definitely.
Because the narrator explicitly states they were headed to the principal's room with great fear. And when they arrive, the boy doesn't just, wave and say hello.
No, it's very formal.
It's an incredibly formal physical ritual. He offers a sheaf of betel leaves to the headmaster, Mr. Aracena, and then he literally bows down to worship him.
It feels like a mythic high-stakes encounter, doesn't it?
It really does. But wait, I have to stop and push back on this sequence of events a little bit.
Okay, what's bumping you?
Well, if we're talking about a massive cognitive breakthrough happening in this room, the setup feels totally wrong to me.
How so?
Pure terror triggers a fight or flight response, right? The amygdala hijacks the brain, cortisol spikes, and the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain responsible for, complex problem solving, essentially shuts down.
Right, you can't learn when you're terrified.
Exactly. So how does a child learn the most profound lesson of his life while he is practically bowing on the floor in absolute terror?
Well, that biological reality of fear you just described is exactly why the headmaster's response is the catalyst for everything that follows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mr. Sundarasena does not lean into the fear at all. The boy is expecting a terrifying authority figure and, performs this heavy ritual of submission.
Right.
But the headmaster just accepts the betel leaves, acknowledging the cultural respect, and then he simply reaches out and strokes the boy's head.
Oh, wow. Just a simple touch.
Exactly. Physical touch from a perceived threat that turns out to be gentle acts as an immediate biological reset.
That makes so much sense.
It signals safety to the nervous system, the cortisol drops, the prefrontal cortex comes back online.
So he essentially lowers the emotional temperature of the room.
Yes, and he does it so rapidly that it creates a vacuum. It makes a safe space where a huge cognitive challenge can actually be processed without the kid just panicking.
So he disarms the threat. But he doesn't just let the kid relax and have a snack. He immediately drops a puzzle into that newly created safe space.
He really does. Doesn't waste any time.
No. He hands the boy a slate and asks this deceptively simple question. He says, "Can you draw an orange on that slate?"
And this is where it gets fascinating.
Yeah, because the boy's mind instantly goes to a specific orange growing on a tree back in his family's garden.
Right. Not the concept of an orange.
No, not fruit in general. He thinks of that exact orange.
What we're seeing there is the difference between episodic memory and semantic memory.
Yeah.
Just playing out in real time.
Okay, break that down for me.
So, semantic memory is our catalog of general knowledge. It's knowing that an orange is a round, orange-colored citrus fruit.
Right, the dictionary definition, basically.
Exactly. But episodic memory is our recollection of specific events and specific objects. And very young children rely heavily on episodic memory.
So when he hears the word orange,
His brain doesn't conjure some abstract, generalized template. His visual cortex retrieves a high-fidelity memory of the actual physical object he's interacted with.
oh, like he literally remembers the weight, the specific branch it hangs on?
Yes. The texture, the peel, all of it.
Okay, but wait, I need to challenge this assumption that abstraction is completely foreign to a child at this age.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we see toddlers drawing stick figures and scribbles all the time,
Right.
right? And we just assume drawing is a totally natural human
A
instinct.
common assumption, yeah.
So it sounds like we're saying this boy is somehow uniquely paralyzed by what should be a normal task. Shouldn't putting a shape on a slate be instinctual by age 5?
That's a great question. But the scribbles themselves are just instinctual motor movements,
Oh, I see.
assigning meaning to them, like deciding that a scribble actually is a dog or a person that is learned behavior.
So drawing a stick figure isn't biological.
No, drawing a stick figure is not a biological default. It is a cultural technology.
Wow. A cultural technology.
Yeah, so the boy's paralysis isn't a lack of intelligence or lack of imagination. It's actually a hyper-awareness of physical reality.
Because he knows what the real thing is.
Right, he is hitting a hard biological wall between the visual processing of a 3D object and the motor execution of a 2D symbol.
Because he knows what the orange is and he's holding the slate, but
But he cannot bridge the gap because the rules of geometry simply don't map onto each other.
and he details that internal collision so clearly in the text. I mean, he looks at the flat slate, thinks about the orange in the garden, and is just completely baffled.
He's stuck.
Totally stuck. He has to think incredibly hard because he cannot understand how to take a solid spherical object with weight and juice and mass and somehow smash it onto a flat two-dimensional piece of stone.
The tools just do not match the reality.
Exactly.
And if you look at the mechanics of drawing from a neurocognitive perspective, you are essentially asking the brain to perform a massive act of data deletion.
Data deletion. What do you mean?
Well, to draw an orange, you have to ignore the smell, you have to ignore the weight, the texture, and ignore the environment it exists in.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You have to isolate merely the outer contour of the object from a single fixed perspective, and then replicate that invisible artificial boundary using a piece of chalk.
And the boy hasn't been trained to delete that data yet.
Exactly. He is trying to force the entire uncompressed 3D reality of the fruit onto the slate.
You know, this reminds me of a very modern frustration, actually.
Oh yeah, like what?
Think about trying to explain a highly complex, emotionally messy situation to a friend, but you are forced to only use flat 2D text messages.
Oh, that is a perfect analogy.
Right. You're trying to convey a 3D feeling, complete with like historical nuance, tone of voice, body language, maybe adrenaline, using just little black pixels on a glowing screen.
It never works out well.
It doesn't. The medium inherently fails the reality. You end up staring at your phone screen feeling entirely paralyzed, knowing that whatever you type will not actually be the thing you are feeling.
You're trapped.
Yeah, you're trapped in an impossible physics problem, just like the boy staring at the slate.
I love that. The concept of data compression you're bringing up is the perfect framework for this.
Because texts are compressed.
Yeah, a text message is a heavily compressed file format for human emotion. You lose an enormous amount of data in the compression process.
And the slate is doing the same thing.
And the slate is the exact same thing. It is a lossy medium.
Yeah.
You cannot put the actual physical object onto the stone. You have to leave the physical reality behind and construct a symbol instead.
And the tragedy for the boy in that moment is that the symbol just feels like an imposter.
Right. It's a fake.
And that leads directly to the core realization of the text. Like I said earlier, the boy famously concludes that he simply didn't know the ways of the world.
And the way of the world in this context isn't a physical law like gravity.
No, it's an artificial, socially constructed agreement that we will all just pretend these compressed symbols are real.
Exactly. The field of semiotics studies exactly this, how signs and symbols create meaning.
Okay, let's get into that.
In semiotics, you have the signified, which is the actual physical orange in the garden.
Right.
And you have the signifier, which is the mark made on the slate.
Right.
And the relationship between the two is completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
There is no biological reason a white chalk circle on a dark slate should mean a piece of fruit.
Right. It doesn't look or act like an orange in any real way.
Exactly. The boy realizes that human society operates on a hidden layer of code that he just hasn't been given the password to yet.
That's such a great way to put it. So, to get out of the trap, he needs someone to show him the cheat code, and the headmaster steps in, sees the boy struggling with the impossibility of the task, takes the slate from him, and draws a simple circle.
Just a circle.
It's just a circle. And then he draws a tiny line on top of it and tells the boy, that's the stalk.
The intervention is remarkably gentle, but cognitively it is explosive.
Right, because he doesn't explain it.
No, Mr. Cinderacina doesn't deliver a lecture on the philosophical nature of abstraction or the mechanics of visual representation. He simply provides a demonstration.
And the narrator looks back at this tiny interaction, literally just a circle and a line, and states that on that day, he learned a great lesson in life.
That's a huge statement.
Let's interrogate that phrase. Calling it a great lesson in life feels massive for just learning how to doodle a piece of fruit, you know?
Yeah, it's not just art class.
Right. So what is the fundamental shift happening in his worldview in that room?
The shift is the discovery of consensus reality.
Consensus reality.
Yes, Mr. Cinderacina demonstrates the immense power of a shared delusion.
A shared delusion? I like that.
Because a circle with a line on top of it does not taste like citrus. It does not contain vitamin C. It does not grow in the dirt.
Right, it's completely devoid of the actual properties of an orange.
Exactly. But the headmaster shows him that in human civilization, we collectively agree to accept the forgery.
Wow.
If we all agree that this stripped down two-dimensional shape stands in for the real thing, then the shape actually gains the power of the object.
So the great lesson is really that you have to abandon the physical truth of the garden just to participate in the conversation.
You really do.
You have to distill complex realities down to simple, manageable fictions.
You are trading fidelity for portability.
Trading fidelity for portability, that's good.
Because to function in society, we simply cannot carry the full, heavy, multi-dimensional reality of everything with us.
Right.
If I want to communicate the concept of a house to you, I can't physically drag a house into the studio.
That would be difficult.
A bit, yeah. I have to compress the house into a symbol. Either the spoken word house or a crude drawing of a square with a triangle on top.
So language, mathematics, art, currency.
They're all just circles and stalks on a slate?
And the loss of the real thing is basically the price of admission to human culture.
It is.
You lose the texture and the juice, but what you gain is the ability to share the idea of the orange with someone who has never been to your garden.
Exactly.
Someone who perhaps has never even seen an orange in their life. You gain the ability to transport an object across time and space using only your mind and a piece of chalk.
And the entire mechanism of civilization is built entirely on that compromise.
It really is.
Because if humans were incapable of abstraction, if we remain hyper-literal like the boy in the memory, unable to separate the object from its physical presence, we would be trapped in the immediate present.
We'd only be able to point at things in front of us.
Right. Abstraction allows for time travel. It allows us to discuss a harvest that hasn't happened yet, or an ancestor who died a century ago.
So the headmaster wasn't just teaching him how to draw.
No, he was initiating him into the human superpower of symbolic thought.
Okay, let's pull this narrative forward and see how it maps onto your life today, listening to this.
It's surprisingly relevant.
We've traced this incredible journey. A child grounded in the sensory reality of a paddy field in 1969, navigating a landscape of cultural fear and formal rituals.
Right.
He encounters a headmaster who neutralizes the biological panic of the room, only to confront the boy with the absolute limits of his own literal mind.
The 3D problem on the 2D slate.
Exactly. The physical orange cannot be forced onto the flat stone. And the resolution to that crisis is the profound realization that human beings navigate the world through artificial compressed symbols.
And the relevance to our modern environment is just striking.
How so?
Well, we are currently living in an era defined by overwhelming, hyper-complex information overload.
Oh, tell me about it.
We face multidimensional problems in our careers, intricately layered conflicts in our relationships, massive systemic issues in society. The sheer volume of data we are expected to process daily is staggering.
It creates a modern version of the slate paralysis, doesn't it?
It really does.
We look at a messy, convoluted project at work, or maybe a tangled conflict with a family member, and we just freeze.
Because it's too much.
Yeah, we try to hold the entire uncompressed reality of the problem in our working memory all at once.
We're trying to process the dirt, the roots, the leaves, the weight, and the juice simultaneously.
And the brain simply crashes under the load.
The cognitive load is just too high. And the lesson from the headmaster is that you don't have to carry the whole weight of the reality to move forward.
In fact, you can't.
You cannot. You have to intentionally delete data.
You have to simplify.
You have to find the simplified version that allows you to manipulate the idea. When you are overwhelmed by a problem that feels too massive and too real to solve, the solution is rarely to look closer at the details.
It's the opposite, isn't it?
Yeah, the solution is usually to pull back and force the abstraction.
You have to ask yourself, what is the circle and the stalk here?
Exactly.
You have to strip away the emotional history, the minor variables, the peripheral noise, until you are left with a crude, highly compressed representation of the core issue.
It won't be the full truth.
No, it'll be a lossy format, but it will be manageable. It will be something you can actually put on the slate and start to work with.
The artificial symbol becomes the tool for manipulating the real world. By accepting the limitation of the slate, the boy gained the ability to interact with the concept of the orange on his own terms.
We have to allow ourselves to simplify our complex realities in order to survive them.
That's the real lesson.
So think about the most complicated, messy, three-dimensional problem you are dealing with right now in your life.
We all have one.
We really do. The one that feels far too heavy and nuanced to even explain to someone else without spending like 3 hours giving them the backstory. If you were forced to explain that exact problem to someone using only a flat slate, what is your version of the circle and the stalk?
What is the absolute simplest, most aggressively stripped down symbol that captures its essence?
Finding that simple symbol is often the only way to break the paralysis and begin solving the impossible problem. Until next time, keep exploring.